Hi everyone, I'm Brian. I'm an artist here at the Animation Academy at the Magic of Disney animation attraction at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Today I'm going to teach you how to draw Hiro, one of our newest characters from our hit film Big Hero 6. Alright, so we're going to start with a circle. Best way to draw a circle is to use your whole arm. Your shoulder naturally rotates. So just practice first using your whole arm to draw a circle. It's the only way you can draw a perfect circle. Can't do it any other way. Now with your elbow or your wrist, you gotta use your whole arm. Get that shoulder in rotation. So right in the middle of your page, as lightly as humanly possible, just barely touching your pencil to paper, we're going to draw a circle the size of a grapefruit or a softball. And you're just going to go around multiple times. The key to good circles is repetition. Going around, you're able to fix your flat spots, your indents, anything that makes it not a circle. Don't worry about it being perfect. Guidelines are there to tell us where we put the pieces of the character, like eyes, nose, mouth, etc., etc., etc. We need to know where the center of his head is. Well, his head's going to be turned just slightly to the left, just slightly to the left. So I'm going to do a slightly curved guideline, starting at the top, curving through, and out the bottom. I want you to find the halfway point on the left side of the circle, and we'll draw a horizontal guideline, which is going to dip down just a little bit, and then curve up to the halfway point on the right. And we'll go just a little bit above that and draw a parallel curve. All right, now we're going to have Hiro wearing his helmet. He's suited up in his Big Hero 6 superhero outfit, so he's got his helmet. And so we're going to turn him into kind of an egghead, which works for Hiro since he's a scientist. And so we're going to start from the left side of the circle and add a little bit extra space to the top of the circle, running into that guideline. That'll be your cue to curve back down. If we kind of follow the side of the circle down from that line, once we get towards the bottom, I'm going to leave the circle just a little bit, coming in very close to that center guideline. Then I'm going to curve back up, drawing a little line which is going to go in and out of that circle. Do the same thing on this side. Drag this line around. Once I get towards the bottom, about a quarter of the way from the bottom, I'm going to leave that circle. Essentially, you can drag this line so it runs into the bottom one, just so you keep everything kind of even. But then just about the same distance as this one was to this one, I'm going to draw another line like this, half in and half out. Like so. So we're working on his helmet. And we're going to draw essentially a bullet shape, which is going to start from the top of the circle where the guideline hits. And this is going to curve down, staying about halfway between the center guideline and the side of the circle. I'm going to shoot down like this. And then when I get towards the bottom, I can just curve right into that line. So we get this little bit of an angle right there. And I'm going to curve up like this. And then back up here again, another curve. This one has a little bit more distance from the right just because his head's slightly turned. Should be the same distance as this guideline to this guideline, from here to here. And this we can just drag down for a moment. So, connect up if you want. That. So we get this kind of bullet shape, and we make it more like a bullet by adding a little tip to it at the top. Curve like that. Now we're going to create essentially a big plus sign. And we're going to start just above this horizontal guideline and create a little triangle, which is going to run down very close to the side of the circle, but not touch it. Then I'm going to drag this line down, staying parallel to the left side of the circle, and then I'll angle down so I can run into this line, like so. So it's a smooth curve. Like that. And we get the same thing on this side. Across from this one, same spot. I'm going to draw a line going down, creating a triangle right there. And then I curve down. And we can pull this line up and connect everything together. So we've created kind of a plus sign if you look at this inside area right here. All right, now he has these earpieces where he can communicate with the rest of the team. And so I'm just going to start across from the top of this line off to the side of the circle and draw a short line, basically at the same angle as this line. Now we can actually flow from the bottom of the circle, and as soon as I'm lined up just below this line, right about there, I'm going to curve out, and then we connect it together with a slight curve. Then from that top line, I'm going to curve in, staying really close to the side of that little plus sign angle that you drew, going down like that. That's going to give us earpiece, beginnings of his earpiece. On the left, same kind of thing. Across from this angle, on the side, we get a short angle, like so. And then flowing from the bottom, short angle, and we connect with a slight curve. He has little aerodynamic fins sticking up from the top of his earpieces. And so right where the circle and the earpiece touch, I'm just going to draw a line which is going to curve up slightly. It's going to be lined up just a little bit above the top of the circle, just a little bit above. And then I come to a point, and I curve down and then angle in to run into that earpiece. Get this little fin sticking up. And over here, same thing. We're going to start with just a little line over here. And then you're going to curve up slightly to the right, so you're lined up with the other fin. Curve back down. Like so. So we're building this helmet around Hiro. And then at the very bottom, we'll use the bottom of the circle and just go back over this. So this area down here is actually a chin strap. So we're building onto our Hiro Hamada, who is, of course, the hero of the film Big Hero 6. One of the heroes, anyway. All right, now we want to do a little bit of darkening. And we're going to start with that inside kind of plus sign. And I'll just trace over this spot right up here. I want to add a little bit of detail to those little earpieces. And so we're going to draw an oval, just basically drawing a curve on the outside of this, and creates the illusion of an oval on the end of that. It shows some dimension to it. Since he is a three-dimensional computer animated character, we do want to add the illusion of 3 dimensions flat on our paper. And then we're going to draw a curve next to it, following the same curve we just drew, and then one more on the inside. And over on the left, we're just going to see 2 curves following the same curve as the circle. All right, we want to see some thickness on the inside of the helmet, and we do that just by drawing a little parallel line on the inside right here, which is actually going to curve around like so. Pull that line down. Same on this side, kind of overlapping our chin strap a little bit. So we get a little bit of thickness on the inside over here. And we can darken that a little over the chin strap. All right, he has these little protrusions on the bottom of his helmet right down here, and we're going to draw basically a little half circle. Be like that. We're going to add a little bit of thickness to the left side just to show that it's a little bit of a protrusion sticking up. And then we get kind of a rounded off triangle shape. Sticks up from there, and you can add some thickness on the inside as well to show that that's sticking out, protrusion. The illusion of 3 dimensions. Same thing on this side. Our little half circle, or letter D, whatever you want to think of it as. Add a little bit of thickness to the right. And then we get a rounded off triangle. Just all this little detail in the helmet. All right, he's got a little bit of a half oval on the top of the helmet just to show a little bit of design in the helmet. It's indented in there. Then he's got some stripes. They come out just below the top of the plus sign. A little curve there, the curve next to it. Go from light to dark with your lines. Same thing on this side. Like so. All right, so now we want to go back to our light lines. And we want to work on his face now. So we can start with just drawing some ovals just to show where his eyes are going to be. You want to do this really, really lightly. This one's going to be just right in between this little boxed area that we created. Just draw a little oval. It's not going to fill up the whole spot. Be farther over to the left. So a little oval just to show where that is. Then way over here, close to this line, we draw the other one. That just helps us know where his eyes are going to be. So just keep them really, really light. Looks kind of alien-y at the moment. All right, and just below the horizontal guideline, we'll draw a small oval to show where his nose is going to be. And it's going to lean more over towards the right. Pretty much the same distance for the nose as the area between the eyes. Just don't draw it very dark, or you'll make him have a tiny clown nose. You don't want that. Then about halfway between the nose and the chin strap, we draw the mouth. And we're going to go just down from about 1/4 of the way to the inside of the eye, straight down. And it's just going to be a little wavy. So I'm going to wave down a little bit like that, and back up, stopping once I'm straight down from the middle of this eye. And add a little curve in the corner like so. All right, so we've got his face in there nice and light so far. Now we want to get his hair. He's got a lot of hair. He's a very shaggy kid. And so what we want to do is we want to just draw a little letter V, which is going to run along this guideline right here, just to the inside of the horizontal guideline. And we're just going to curve up. We can stop before we hit the top. I'm going to do some overlapping lines. From the corner, this little angle of the top of the plus sign, I'm going to drag a letter V down, which is going to touch just the top right corner of the eye. And then we can curve back up off to the right and just kind of get these little shapes in there to show where his hair is going to be. Get another curvy letter V, which will run in, stopping about halfway down this letter V, right about there, and back up. Just get all these little shapes in there as we're building onto them. And we'll see a little hair sticking down on this side as well. The letter V. Now we actually still use this curve on this side and this side because that's the padding on the inside of the helmet. And his hair's going to be sticking out a little bit from there as well, and we'll handle that in just a moment. But for now, we want to go in and we want to play with that hair. And I'm just going to trace back over this big letter V in the center. I'm going to drag a line up on the inside, just creating a little bit of variance with the hair. I can separate a line, put a line right down the middle right there. Just get some of these lines in there. Now with the curve over here, I'm actually going to drag this line down in just a little bit. Like so, starting just a little bit on the inside of the plus sign. And we can pull this line down. And we'll see a little bit of hair just sticking out, going past that guideline, down towards the bottom. Just a little bit sticking out right there. This is that padding on the inside of the helmet. So, and we can pull this line in, bow it in a little bit more. Padding on the inside so it's hugging his face. So, here's the hair. You can go ahead and you can shade in the padding on the side as well. Use the side of your pencil and shade in the hair. Whenever you shade, you always want to use the side of your pencil. Don't use the tip. Tip will take you forever. Look really bad when you're done. Break your pencil and possibly give you carpal tunnel. So always use the side of your pencil when you shade. And it doesn't really require much skill. If you can hold a pencil and wildly flail your arm back and forth, as long as you touch some paper while you're doing it, you will make an even surface. It's that easy. You kind of want to just fly through it. You can do a little bit of darker variance on the sides if you want. Once again, side of the pencil. Okay, the eyes. In the tops of the eyes, we're going to do a darker line, which is going to create kind of a talon shape. So I'm going to draw a curve going through the top, and I'm going to thicken it up towards the back. And we create this little talon shape. Like so. Let's see, just a little bit of the bottom line, thin line right there. Over here, talon shape, going off the other direction. Thin line across the bottom. And we want to put in the pupils, which are, of course, circles. You use your wrist and your fingers to get the smaller circles in there. Take up a good portion of the eye. It's going to be partially up underneath the eyelashes. And then once you get that in there, you can fill it in. Do the pupil in there. And the same thing over here. The whole thing in there. Light to dark with that, fill it in. As eyebrows, of course, are going to be in between the hair and the top of the eye. Just to the right of the center guideline, I'm going to create this swoop. And it's just going to swoop back and run into the left. We come to a thin point and kind of thicken up a little bit as we go back. You can fill that in. And then over here on the left, just in this little spot that we have in between the hair, we'll see a little bit of eyebrow. Just a curve there, and a curve there, and you can darken that. Just going to pull this line down, angle out the left side of the nose. If we continue this up, we're going to leave a little bit of a gap with the nose right here until we hit the guideline. I'm going to see the bridge of the nose just running in to the right of the eye. Then back to the bottom of the oval, to the right of the center guideline. See a little nostril, just a tiny little hook shape. And then we just trace back over a little part of the right side of that oval for the outside of the nostril. And then you can trace back over the mouth. The chin strap, you can draw a couple little lines there just to show on the inside of the chin strap. And then just below that, we can draw the neck. And the neck's going to be just inside the helmet. Draw a short line over here to the left, and then just inside the helmet over here. Short line to the right. And we can see a little bit of his collar, which is going to swoop from behind the neck. So we draw a little curve, which is going to swoop around, running to the inside of the neck. Then towards the center, we go down. Kind of angle it off at the bottom like a squared off letter U. And then do the same thing on the right. Or if we continue this line, it would just connect over to the other side as well. It needs to be lined up. It's just one collar. Swoop, squared off letter U, back around again. And then we get the ends of the collar. Go ahead and sign your drawing so everybody knows whose masterpiece this is. Be sure to check out Big Hero 6 at a theater near you. And come see me and all of my friends at the Magic of Disney Animation at the Animation Academy at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And learn to draw Hiro or Baymax or dozens of other characters. Thanks, everybody.